and welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who? What you may not know about Doctor Who. This time we're going to look at another 6th Doctor story, and ironically enough it's a post regeneration story, Attack of the Cybermen. I hope you enjoy. Production for this serial started off very rocky as the twin dilemma disappointed and caused strife among these fans, especially with the seemingly aggressive 6th Doctor. Therefore, last-minute script changes were made to try and heal things. The story was planned as far back as 1983, but was shelved constantly before finally airing in 1985. The repair to the comedian circuit was in part a publicity effort by John Nathan Turner to drum up more interest in the series, and even wanted it to be a permanent solution. This story has the highest viewing figure of any 6th Doctor story at 8.9 million. This story was the first of several stories from this season to provoke controversy over its depiction of violence. In this case, it was the hand-crushing scene. There is some contention over who exactly wrote Attack of the Cybermen. It was written under the pseudonym Paula Moore. Paula Woosley and Eric Soward apparently worked together to write the story, with contribution from Ian Levin. However, Levin claimed that he wrote the narrative, which was then developed into a script by Soward. Soward denies this and affirms that he wrote the final script and the majority of the narrative with the contributions from Levin and to a very minor extent Woosley. This is also the most recent story that was written under a pseudonym. Working titles for the story included were Return to Telos, The Cold War, and Return of the Cybermen. This is Terry Molloy's only appearance playing someone that isn't Davros. The Cyber Controller is the same Cyber Controller from Tomb of the Cybermen. Even the actor Michael Kilgraff reprised his role as the Cyber Controller. The Cryons were originally going to be all male, not all female. In the original script, it was revealed that a colony of Cryons is living inside Hades' comet. Lighton's job was to convince the Cybermen to use the comet as an agent of the Earth's destruction, in order to lure the Cyber Controller there, where he would be ambushed by the Cryons. This scheme is uncovered by the Cybermen, who then turn against Lighton. Griffiths was initially killed at the closing minutes of this serial, but an underrunning part 2 meant his character was not killed and expanded. Nicola Byratt was cold and uncomfortable wearing her outfit in the cold November weather. In fact, her nipples had to be taped down as they are prominently showing. It was planned that the Cybermen on Telos would be dressed in blue overalls and globular helmets, to imply the hostile nature of the planet's surface. However, it was found that these additions made the monsters look ridiculous, and they were dropped. Another dropped idea was the inclusion of the Cybermats, which ironically first appeared on Telos in Tomb of the Cybermen. This is the first and only time that a stealth Cyberman appears, which is one of the most unique Cyberman variants, being completely black. The Telos exterior location is the same gravel pit at Gerrard's Cross, used back in 1967 for the Tomb of the Cybermen. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Attack of the Cybermen has a bit of a mixed reaction, to say the very least. It is coming off of the Twin Dilemma, which is an absolutely awful Doctor Who story, and Attack of the Cybermen seems to suffer the brunt of the aftermath, if that makes sense. It is obviously quite a conflicting story, as some people really don't like this story at all. Some people say it's overblown and stupid. Some people really don't like the 6th Doctor. For one, I actually quite like this story. I'm not saying that it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's not my favourite Cyberman story at all, but it is definitely an enjoyable watch. I think the Cyber Controller, for one thing, is absolutely phenomenal. I love the look of the Cyber Controller, and honestly, I think the violence in this story is actually a bit of a selling point. Attack of the Cybermen does have a pretty lame title, all things considered, but overall I think it's a decent watch. It's not the best Cyberman story in the world, but it's certainly not the worst. We've seen far, far worse. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.